Хорошо. Good day, students. Register at the stream. Register at the stream. We start our lecture in epistemology. Epistemology, this is a branch of the philosophy. The synonym of epistemology is gnoseology. Gnoseology. This is a study of cognition, study of philosophical cognition of being and other philosophical problems. And we will speak about the nature of knowledge and about truth in philosophy. Epistemology as a branch of philosophy, our questions, approaches in understanding of knowledge, truth in the history of philosophy, and theories on vision about truth. We finish our lecture course and we finish our classes in philosophy. So, by this lecture, we finish our course in philosophy. And I want to tell you about cognition, about epistemology, about knowledge. Epistemology is the branch of philosophy concerned with the nature and scope, limitations of knowledge. Epistemology from Greek language means knowledge, science. I told you about when we spoke about history of the philosophy. I told you that in different periods of philosophical of the development of philosophical knowledge, different branches of the philosophy were in the center of attention of the philosophers. For example, in ancient Greece, in ancient Greek philosophy, in the center, one of the central problems of philosophical analysis was problem of being. Being. So, being is studied by ontology. About ontology. This is the branch of the philosophy, being. But at the new time philosophy from Immanuel Kant, from René Descartes, but especially Immanuel Kant, German philosopher Kant, he fixed the limitations of knowledge, limitations of our knowledge. For example, our knowledge about being of the universe is limited by our mind, by scientific instruments, by scientific theories, which can allow us to study, for example, universe or some other problems. So our mind is weak, and it has boundaries, it has limitations. Yes, and knowledge has boundaries and limitations. For example, Immanuel Kant, he said that by scientific methods we cannot prove existence of God, but either we cannot prove nor we cannot tell that God does not exist. So our knowledge is limited, and metaphysical problems, their understanding depends on on the scope and limitations of knowledge. And Immanuel Kant, he said that in the philosophy, very important branch of philosophy, it's not only ontology, but also gnoseology or epistemology. So our knowledge about being depends on our mind, on our cognition of being. And what is cognition of being? What limitations of this cognition we will speak today. A debate in this field has focused on analyzing the nature of knowledge and how it relates to connected notions such as truth, belief, and justification. It also deals with the means of production of knowledge, as well as skepticism about different knowledge claims. So what is truth? Yes, like Ponti Pilatus in Bible, he asked Jesus Christ, what is truth? It's a serious question. What is justification? What is belief? Yes, and how scientific understanding of the being and of surrounding world, how it differs from mythological understanding of this world. What aspects of our knowledge depends on beliefs, and what aspects of our knowledge depends on scientific arguments, logical arguments, and scientific theories. So the mother of the philosophy is skepticism, or father, about different knowledge claims. And if you have healthy skepticism about the knowledge, about claims other people tell you, you start philosophical reflection about these problems. In the most narrow sense, an idea is just whatever is before the mind when one thinks. Very often ideas are construed as representational images, so images of some objects. In other contexts, ideas are taken to be concepts, although, although abstract concepts do not necessarily appear as images. So, internal question: what was the first, a hen or an egg? Yes, we can reload this question and ask: what was the first, the matter or ideas? Because our being is consists of the matter. Yes, a universe consists of matter, of material, different material objects, space. Yes, space consists these different material objects. But idealistic philosophers, they consider that a world of matter is secondary world. A world of ideas is the initial world. And the idea of like Platonism, like idea of the world of ideas by Plato. So what is our ideas? It's a question, yes? Ideas. This is how we are thinking, how ideas appears in our minds. This is a question, yes? How ideas appears in the form of images, of representational images, images of some objects, or like concepts, like some phrases in our mind. Like abstract concepts do not necessarily appear as images. Like, what is our thinking when we spoke about cognition? I told you that our thinking is internal speech. Internal speech. We speak inside our heads. We speak with each other. We speak not only with other people, but we speak inside our mind. And ideas can be in the form of speech, internal speech, or language speech. Internal speech also we think using language, like Indian people think in Indian language, Russian people think in Russian language, yes. French people in French language. So a language is a mediator of thinking. So let's speak about knowledge, yes. What is a priori knowledge and a posteriori knowledge? A priori knowledge is knowledge that is known independently of experience. That it is non-empirical or arrived at beforehand usually by reason. It will henceforth be acquired through anything that is independent from experience. For example, phrase "moon is made of green cheese." It is attempt of a priori conclusion, yes, about structure of the moon. Of course, moon is made not from the green cheese, but if we don't fly to the moon, if we don't study astronomy, why not? You can see this moon and compare it with cheese. But many a priori knowledge, many a priori conclusions were correct. For example, people from ancient Greece, in ancient Greece time, Aristotle, he considered that Earth has a form of a ball. He did not have information from the internet. He did not have internet. He did not have handbooks in astronomy. He did not have pictures from space ships. He used his mind to make such a serious conclusion about form of the Earth. So a priori knowledge can, in many cases, this knowledge is correct, is rightful. A posteriori knowledge is knowledge that is known by experience. That is, it is empirical or arrived at afterward. For example, appearance, I can give you medical example, like infectious disease. Yes, infectious disease. There are infectious, non-infectious. In the Middle Ages, infection doctors did not have microscopes. Yes, microscopes appeared later in the new time by Leeuwenhoek, by other scientists, but it was invented, microscope. But at Middle Ages, scientists understood diseases as infectious diseases as a result of contagious. What are contagious? The theory of contagious understood the infectious disease as diseases provoked by invisible entities, invisible objects which fly on the open air, and people and influence people. This is a priori knowledge, a priori conclusion. A posteriori knowledge, it's after invention of microscope, for example, different scientists, they studied the microorganisms, bacteria, viruses, using microscopes. So this is a posteriori knowledge. A posteriori knowledge. For example, Robert Koch, he studied a lot of microorganisms using microscope, and his knowledge was a posteriori, so it is based on experience. A priori knowledge is based at, it is independently of experience. This is our hypothesis. It is non-empirical knowledge. Epistemology is a branch of philosophy. You can see truth, knowledge, beliefs. Our knowledge is between our beliefs and truth. Truth means the correspondence of reality with our ideas about this reality. For example, if you will say that now it's evening, your idea that now is evening should correspond with the real situation. If I will tell you that now is morning, is it right? My idea that now is morning. You open the window, no, not morning. You look at your clocks, no, not morning. It's my belief, but it's not truth. Knowledge, it's between beliefs and truth, and if beliefs corresponds with truth, this knowledge is truthful and scientific. This is Euler diagram representing a definition of knowledge. According to the theory that knowledge is justified through belief, in order to know that a given proposition is true, one must not only believe the relevant true proposition, but one must also have a good reason for doing so. One implication of this would be that no one would gain knowledge just by believing something that happened to be true. Knowledge is justified through belief. In order to know that a given proposition is true, one must not only believe, but must also have a good reason for doing so. A theory of sufficient ground. In order to acknowledge some knowledge, some ideas, truthful idea should be grounds, should be sufficient grounds of this idea. This idea should be justified, should be proved by person who suggests this idea. Idealism. Idealists believe that knowledge is primarily, at least in some areas, acquired by a priori processes or is innate, for example, in the form of concepts not derived from experience. The relevant theoretical processes often go by the name intuition. The relevant theoretical concepts may purportedly be part of the structure of the human mind, as in Kant's theory of transcendental idealism, or they may be said to exist independently of the mind, as in Plato's theory of forms. Metaphysical problems. We can speak about metaphysical reality only through a priori knowledge, a priori concepts, and using our intuition, and so on and so forth. So what is transcendental idealism? This means that our mind is very weak to study transcendental world, metaphysical world, and metaphysical transcendental problems. And Kant recognized the limitations of our mind in understanding of God's view, understanding of God, understanding of spiritual world, and so on and so forth. But our intuition can prompt us, can help us to acquire some judgments, to acquire some information from religious books, for example, yes, from Bible, from Quran, from Vedas, in different religious, different books. But this information is metaphysical, and our intuition, simply speaking, our heart, can help us to understand these difficult problems and to acquire these ideas. In philosophy, empiricism is generally a theory of knowledge emphasizing the role of experience, especially experience based on perceptual observations by the sense. Certain forms treat all knowledge as empirical, while some regard disciplines such as mathematics and logic as exceptions. Knowledge should be empirical. Mathematics and logic, it's exceptions, but mathematics, it's also very serious science, because it uses the numbers and explain the surrounding world in a quantification of these processes. By contrast with empiricism and idealism, which emphasize the epistemologically privileged status of sense data, empirical, and the primacy of reason, theoretical, respectively, modern rationalism adds a third system of thinking, as Gaston Bachelard has termed these areas, and holds that all three are of equal importance: the empirical, the theoretical, and the abstract. Rationalism makes equal reference to all three systems of thinking. So, rationalism, if theoretical judgments are rational, Rationalists accept these judgments. Abstract judgments also can be rational. Like we can speak about astronomical processes, yes, like what is great explosion, yes, and after which our universe appeared. What is great explosion? We can only guess, we can make models, we can make theories about what was in the reality which we know before this great explosion. How we cannot see this reality before the great explosion. We cannot use empirical perspective. We can only use theoretical models, theoretical abstract models to understand this problem. Or appearance of a moon, appearance of a moon. No one single theory of appearance of a moon. There are several theories. One of the theory that moon appeared after when it was clashing of Earth with some other planet, smaller planet, and result of this accident, catastrophe, was appearance of moon. Second theory, maybe moon, it's space object which was formed outside the Earth, and gravitation of the Earth attracted moon to the Earth. We also cannot use empirical theories. We use theoretical a priori judgments about this problem. Constructivism is a view in philosophy according to which all knowledge is a compilation of human-made constructions, not the neutral discovery of an object truth. Whereas objectivism is concerned with the object of our knowledge. Constructivism emphasizes how we construct knowledge. So, understanding of knowledge, cognition as construction. We construct our cognition. We use scientific and empirical instruments to construct our knowledge. Skepticism is related to the question of whether a certain knowledge is possible. Skeptics argue that the belief in something does not necessarily justify an assertion of knowledge of it. In this, skeptics oppose foundationalism, which states that there have to be some basic beliefs that are justified without reference to others. For example, skeptics, they argued about difference of being and non-being. What is being? Is it real or not real? What are difference between different forms of being? Like Protagoras, he said that being is single, no different forms of being. Being is a single phenomenon. And being depends on our mind. So we can tell that he said that human is the mayor of all things, existing that they exist, and not existing that they don't exist. Skepticism about knowledge, about opportunities of our mind to cognize, to understand being and different philosophical problems. Truth. So what is truth? Truth has a variety of meanings, such as the state of being in accord with fact or reality. It can also mean having fidelity to an original or to a standard or ideal. In a common usage, it also means constancy or sincerity in action or character. The direct opposite of truth is falsehood, which can correspondingly take logical, factual, or ethical meanings. So, main sign of truth that fact our idea, our judgment should correspond with fact or real situation. If I tell you that now it's morning outside, you will tell that I am lying. Yes, it's a lie from me to tell that today is now is morning. But if I will tell you that today is evening, now is evening, you'll agree, because this judgment corresponds with reality. Truth in the history of philosophy. This is a question of Pontius Pilatus to Jesus Christ. What is the truth? Where is the truth? Quod est veritas? He asked him. Truth in the history of philosophy. In his Metaphysics, Aristotle stated, to say of what is that it is not, or of what is not that it is false, while to say of what is that it is, and of what is not that it is not, is true. This complex phrase means that we cannot tell what is not. If our judgment is true, we should not speak about what it is not, or what is not is. Because if we say what is not that it is, this is lie, yes? While to say of what is that is, and of what is not that is not, is true. For example, I'll tell you, moon is made of green cheese. I tell you that what is that is not, yes? Or I will tell you moon is a planet. I tell what is that it is. Yes, this is true. For Thomas Aquinas, the truth of the human intellect, logical truth, is based on the truth in things, ontological truth. So, in order to check the truthfulness of certain ideas, we need to find the truth in things. Yes. So, in order to, like some doctor invent new method of treatment, he need to find the truth in things. He need to prove on the concrete facts that this method of treatment is real. Aquinas also said that real things participate in the act of being of the Creator, God, who is subsistent being, intelligence and truth. Thus, these beings possess the light of intelligibility and are knowable. These things, beings, reality, are the foundations of the truth that is found in the human mind when it acquires knowledge of things, first through the senses, then through the understanding and judgment done by reason. Like foundations of truth are real things around us. Because if we will tell that this what that it is what is, yes, it is what is. In order to understand that, to believe that it's evening on the street, you need to see this evening in practice. You need to see on your clocks, to see the darkness outside, and so on and so forth. Kant states, Immanuel Kant, truth, it is said, consists in the agreement of cognition with its object. Agreement of cognition with its object. Object of our cognition should be in agreement with our cognition. In consequence of this mere nominal definition, my cognition to count as true is supposed to agree with its object. Now I can compare the object with my cognition, however, only by cognizing it. I can compare the objects with my cognition only by cognizing it, said Immanuel Kant. So, to achieve this agreement of cognition with object of cognition, we need to cognize this object, like to put some diagnosis to make some conclusion, doctor need to analyze state of health of patients. And in order to compare the object to achieve agreement in understanding of the disease of his patient, doctor need recognize this disease. Hegel, he distanced his philosophy from psychology by presenting truth as being an external self-moving object instead of being related to inner subjective thoughts. Hegel's truth is analogous to the mechanics of a material body in motion under the influence of its own inner force. Truth is its own self-movement within itself, he said. Truth is its own self-movement within itself. So, truth should be external self-moving object instead of being related to inner subjective thoughts. Correspondence theories state that true beliefs and true statements correspond to the actual state of affairs. So, I will repeat that main feature of the true is corresponding of the actual state, of the real state of the things, with our beliefs, our judgments about these things. If our beliefs and our judgments corresponds with real actual state of affairs, of phenomena, of things, this is truth. If we say of what is not, it is lie. This type of theory posits a relationship between thoughts or statements on the one hand and things or objects on the other. A relationship between thoughts or statements on the one hand and things or objects on the other. Correspondence theory practically operates on the assumption that truth is a matter of accurately copying what was much later called objective reality, and then representing it in thoughts, words, and other symbols. Coherence theories. Coherence theories in general, according to these theories, truth requires a proper fit of elements within a whole system. Very often, though, coherence is taken to imply something more than simple logical consistency. Often there is a demand that the propositions in a coherent system lend mutual inferential support to each other. Social constructivism holds that truth is constructed by social processes, is historically and culturally specific, and that it is part shaped through the power struggles within a community. For example, two different opinions about one action, one case. For example, politicians for Russian society, Adolf Hitler is very bad politician. He's very very bad ideas he suggested. But in Germany, ideas of Hitler were supported by many people. So, only different ideas have different evaluation in different societies. Constructivism views all of our knowledge as considered as constructed because it does not reflect any external transcendent realities, as a pure correspondence theory might hold. Consensus theory holds that truth is whatever is agreed upon by some specified group. Such a group might include all human beings or a subset thereof consisting of more than one person. So truth is a result of consensus between different groups, different ideas. Okay, thank you for your attention. Our philosophy lecture course is finished. I hope you will be philosophers in your studying and will be professionals in your work. Goodbye.